What happened here?
Hello, my name is Doug. I'm a retired school teacher. I built a camper van out of an old Xfinity service van. I'm going to show you how I did it and take you on my adventures, camping, fishing, and going to baseball games. And I'm going to try to show you how to save some money. Welcome to my van channel. Welcome to the Holiday Tinn. Welcome back to my channel, YouTube. Today I'm going to try to repair a rust hole in the roof of my van. Now, when I bought this van, I knew that there was some rust damage on the roof, along the gutters, and I also could see evidence of where there used to be a rack on the top of this van. It's an old service van, so they had a rack on it at one point. There's some dents in the gutter. I'm going to show those to you. And then on the driver's side in the rear, there's a big rust hole. It's a gash, and I suspect, or I think, that that's probably where a rack used to be, and somehow it got damaged and it put a hole in the roof, and now it's rusted. So we're going to take a look at that right now. Okay, so there is a dent in the gutter right here. You can see evidence where there used to be a rack. If I move down the gutter to the rear of the van, this is on the passenger side, you can see that there's rust up here along the gutter, and I'm going to address that rust at another time. Today I want to go ahead and take care of this big rusted gash hole that you see in the roof. Okay, I'm guessing that a rack had damaged that at one time, and now it's all rusted. I'm going to try to patch that up. If I go down here, you can see there's a dent right here in the gutter also. Evidence of where there used to be a rack, I believe. And then down here, there's also some damage to the gutter right there. And I'm going to try to address those all later, but for today, we are just going to address this big rust hole right here. I'm going to try to patch that up. So some tools that I'm going to use today will be a drill. I'm going to use some 400 grit sandpaper, some 60 coarse grit sandpaper, some wire wheels, and I bought this body repair kit off of Amazon. It's Bondo, and it cost me about $25. And I've watched a couple videos online of how to use this, and I'm going to give it a go. I've never tried this before, but I'm going to give it a shot, and we're going to see how it works. So in this box right here, I have a new rack that I plan to put on the roof of the van. But I can't install the rack until I get this rust hole fixed. So we're going to address the rust hole today, and then in an upcoming future video, I'm going to install this rack on my van so that you can see how I do that. So here in Dougie's workshop, we always practice safety. Got the eye goggles, got some gloves. I'm going to hit this with this wire brush or this wire wheel. We're going to try to get this all cleaned up. A little bit more rust to get off there, but it's coming off pretty easy. So I've got most of the rust off. There's a couple dark spots here. I'll hit that a little bit more, but I'm not trying to make this the Taj Mahal. You can see this is an old service van, and the roof has plenty of rust marks on it, and I'm not trying to make this thing all cherried out that I could take to a car show. I'm just trying to fix it up so that no water leaks occur, and no more rust. I'm gonna rough up the paint around this spot with this 60 grit coarse sandpaper, just to rough it up a little bit. Now I'm gonna wipe it down with a wet towel, wet rag, let it dry in the sun a little bit. And while that's drying down, get this all cleaned off. While that's drying in the sun, then I'm gonna mix up some Bondo. This is a good point in the video to take a break and remind you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers to my channel. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That would help me out a lot. Also, what you could do to help me out a lot is share my video on Facebook so that other people can see it as well. So when you take the lid off of this repair kit, inside the cap there is a hardener creamer, and then there's also this mesh. It's made out of metal or aluminum, and that's used to put in a hole. Like I have a hole which is a gash. So what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to cut a small strip out of this metal mesh, and I'm going to put it over the top of that hole that I have up there. And there's a sticky backing to this. You take you peel off the sticky paper so that this will allow it to stick to the metal. And then after it sticks to the metal, I'll mix up this repair kit with the creamer. So the instructions say to make something that's like a golf ball size, and then it says to make a 1/4 inch strip of hardener to mix in here. And I don't think I'll need more than this, so I'm going to put the lid back on that. And now I'm going to go ahead and put a 1/4 inch strip of hardener. It says you're supposed to knead this really well first. A little bit like that. If you're a teacher who taught with me before, you probably recognize this card. This card was what we used to log into the copy machine, make copies in the teacher's lounge. And I'm retired teacher, so I don't need to make any copies anymore. So I'm gonna mix this up as best as I can. Nice little blob. And then this came with the kit, and I'm assuming that's my applicator that I can smooth it out up on top of the van with. I'm gonna take a wet rag with me when I go up on the ladder to put this on that hole. I'm being very generous with it. Once it hardens and it dries, I'm going to sand it down with the sandpaper, try to make it smooth, and then after that I will try to hit it with a can of primer paint. It's not the best looking job and it's not the smoothest job, but it's gonna have to do. So I mixed up a little bit too much. I didn't need this much. I've never done this before, but you can see after just a couple minutes this stuff is already starting to set up really hard. The instructions say wait 30 to 40 minutes before trying to sand it with sandpaper. So I'm gonna set my timer for 40 minutes, and it's sitting in the sun right now, so it should be hard in about 40 minutes, and I'll hit it with sandpaper. Okay, so this is my first time ever doing this, and I'm not a professional, but I do have some kind of not real smooth. I'm going to keep hitting it with the sandpaper, try to make it smooth, but I can feel it kind of goes in right here where I put that mesh, and the hole is right under there. I'm going to try to smooth this out a little bit. The videos that I watch online show that they'll go over this with a second coat of Bondo. I'm not really sure if that's what I'm going to do, but I'm going to try to smooth this out a little bit more, and then we'll take a look at it. Well, I've got it sanded pretty smooth. What I found was the more that I sand it, the more it starts to expose that metal mesh. I don't really want to do that. Also, I started wearing off the original paint the more that I sand this. So this is on my roof, and nobody's going to see it. Nobody knows about it except for me. And I'm going to stop right here. It's not the best job. I've got some imperfections in a lot of places, and it's not the smoothest, but you can see this camper van's got all kinds of imperfections. So I'm going to stop on this part right here, and I'm going to wipe it down with a wet rag, and then when it dries, I'm going to throw a coat of primer paint on it, and we'll see how it looks. Okay, this is the can of primer that I'm going to use on here. It's called Primer Filler, and I use this same primer. There's a little bit left in this can, but I used this when I painted my front bumper. At some point, I'll paint the back bumper as well, but the back bumper still hasn't been painted yet. Anyway, this is what I'm going to use on my patch job that I just did. Now, one of my old high school football coaches is a auto body guy, and he's probably rolling his eyes right now. So if you're watching, Coach, sorry that I'm doing this crappy job, but it's my first time and I've never done it before. So I've waited about half an hour, and I'm going to put another coat on here. we'll see what it looks like tomorrow in the daylight. Well, it turned out okay. Not too bad for someone who's never done this before. Anyway, YouTube, thanks for watching my video. And I know this video went kind of long, and I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to start preparing to make my next video. I want to make a video about putting the rack up on top of this van, and then on top of that rack, I plan to put a solar panel up there to help generate some power for the batteries that are in the back of my van. And then after that, I want to try to do something totally experimental, something like maybe a wind turbine to put up there to generate power for the batteries in the back of my van at nighttime. When I'm in the campsite at nighttime, there's no sunlight, so I plan to try to rig up some type of wind turbine to generate some electricity to charge up and power the batteries in the back of my van. Well, thanks for watching, and like I said before, go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done that, and peace out.